Instant 600 mph.
All right, I think we are about to start. Let's give it a whirl, huh? All right, I think we're good to go. How you guys doing? Hope all is well. Just wanted to knock out something. I had an idea for a portal, a Stargate type thing, a while back, and I've been wanting to execute it for a minute, but I haven't been able to think of a decent design. And I was working on some earlier today, and I want it to be something similar to this. So I thought it'd be fun on stream to just give it a whirl, because you never really know. I think I might keep it in this session, but just name it something different. So I'm gonna just make this one, call it a Stargate test, and just to see how it goes. We never know. I have some design ideas that I want to execute on, but we'll just have to see. I would like for it to follow this same shape language. I think that would be neat. Oh, hey, what's up? Judicial on Kick. I appreciate you messaging, man. I'm able to see all the chats, so if you say something, I'll try to call you out. It's tough for me to do it and work at the same time, but I think we're good. All right, so I'm gonna just start a new collection and call this the Propella. And can I bring in other collections into one? Yeah, look at that. Perfecto. I'll leave the widgets out because we're going to be using that. We're going to start a new one called the Stargate. I'm going to have to name it something else, obviously. But for now, that's the idea. That's the kind of reference I'm using. So right now, I'm going to take the rig that we've made for this propeller thing and hide it. We're gonna just hide it. Hide the rig, hide the whole collection, all that. And we're gonna play around with some shapes for this new Stargate. So let's see what we got. Oh, I'm in pose mode. It would help if I'm in object mode, I think. So let's go for it. So for this Stargate, I want to use something similar to an actual Stargate. But change it up. So my idea was to, start with something that we know and love, which is this silhouette of the normal, late, and great Stargate. And, start with this, inset it a bit, delete these faces. Oh, maybe it would help if I did that right. There we go. All right. We got both sides here. Inset them. Delete. Just the faces. Bring in back to the vertices. And then kind of just start building. I have some reference on my other screen here, but I'm only kind of using them as just that, just reference, nothing crazy. And kind of leave myself enough room to have fun, because that's what this is all about. It's just having fun. And so for now, I'm just going to be playing around with the silhouette a bit. I know I kind of want it to be lean and mean, and maybe, to be quite honest, bevel these edges, but I'm gonna just do a block out for now. I know I want the basic gate shape, but I would like to have like a triangle type thing, and that is what does the spinning. I think that would be pretty dope. But we'll have to just see how it works. It's one of those things that you can try, you know, you have it in your head, and it may not work out, and that's okay. But I think it could. I think it could, you know. The idea came to me because I've always wanted to do like a gate type thing, but I wanted to make it just different enough, you know. And we'll just have to try it out and see. And that's what, you know, game dev is all about sometimes, is just trying out and see what works, see what doesn't. You know, and trying to remember half the fucking shit. I don't know if I'm feeling this music though, bro. I didn't realize it would have singing in it. Let's see if we can find something else. Yeah, I wanted something chill, but something kind of like that study shit, you know? Synthwave. Maybe some synthwave. I love some synthwave. Don't you guys? I mean, come on. You gotta love yourself some synthwave. All right. I don't even know, again, if this is gonna work, but the idea is that we have this triangle part that spins. And on top of that, on each one of these corners, we have, my idea was to have like to kind of have like these blocks, and maybe it'll make more sense as I just go along. It's kind of tough because it's experimental. We don't really know, you know, but the idea is that this spins. We know that much. So because we know that much, we're gonna go ahead and just start building off of that. And so the idea is to have this kind of hollow, you know. I think that would be interesting. Fill that in. Fill that in, and I'm gonna make sure that the faces are still good. Because to be honest, those orientation of those faces can be a real bitch later, bro. It just can. It can bite you in the ass if you're not careful with them. There we go. So, again, we're just doing the block out, nothing crazy. More than likely, this could not work. This could not work. But we'll just have to see. I don't know. I don't know. That's what the design process is all about. But the idea is that this is kind of centered and pretty close to the edge. And then we have these circles that go around. And those circles are what are kind of like the gate address, you know, in a Stargate. That's the idea. Whether it'll work or not, I really don't know. I'm hoping it will, but you know, we'll see. So the idea is this, basically, and then taking this circle, duplicating it, bringing it down, and then having this be kind of what is here, right there. And then using this like this, and already seeing it, we have a couple of problems, you know. Some of these problems might be able to be fixed pretty easily, you know, but some of them may not be. It's just going to take some design, a little bit of design. And now that I'm looking at it, I like the idea of having this guy, you know, a little thicker than I would think initially. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to duplicate that, bring one down here. You know, and I'm just trying to get it close. I'm not really too worried about everything being super perfect. And it may bite me in the ass when I do this, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Again, the idea is that this spins. This spins around and lets you kind of dial this gate. And everything is kind of up off the ground. Because the idea is also I want like steps. I want steps up here as well. Now the other question too is like, is this gonna be like right up on this? Or inside it? That's the other design question we're gonna have to figure out. I do know now that I'm looking at it that I'm gonna wanna inset a bevel up here, at least for this side, maybe for, to be honest, both sides. Oh, there we go. So now that we have both sides, bevel them up until they're the end. Pretty close. And then kind of extrude these outer faces a bit. And I'm kind of looking just at the reference offhand. But it's just, they're more like, it's more like a guideline, you know? And we're just doing a block. We're just blocking out. We're blocking some shit out, bro. Seeing kind of what works and what doesn't. All right. So the idea is that this spins and we reveal like a, you know, symbols here, and it kind of locks it into place. And to be quite honest, we might want to just kind of cartoonify this a little bit, meaning that, you know, I'm not much into realism, and I like the idea of this magic type of thing, and that just means that we can play around with the silhouette. So we make the inside tight while the outside is a bit in. Looks like I missed this guy. All right. We bring it in just a little bit. All right. Already that's a little more interesting. Whether or not we'll stick with that, I don't know. But that's the idea. This guy spins while we reveal something in the texture. We reveal something in the texture, letters, something like this. We'll just have to wait and see. And thinking about it, this might be multiple streams because I really don't know if I want to pigeonhole myself. And to be honest, I won't know until we're a little deeper in the design process. All right, a little smaller. I like that. Okay. Same thing with these guys. Make them just a little smaller. There we go. Little smaller. There we go. This will spin. Let's see, the idea is that this guy spins. And what I like to do is obviously not rig it, but just see how we're working. And so yeah, it's just off center enough. That's a shame. Alright, so if we want this to spin, that'll be something that we're going to have to correct as well. And to do that, it may just take some playing around with this, because I can't really tell if my pivot for my rotation is quite right. That's okay. The other thing is we can be a little bit round with it. And to be honest, it might be easier if we kind of enlarge the actual rings. Maybe just enlarge them a little bit, huh? Give ourselves a little bit of grace. You know? It'd be nice to go tight, but for the sake of this block, I just want it to kind of work. I just kind of want it to work. See, I think I can work with this for the most part. I'm just just kind of messing around. Yeah. I may have had to do my measurements a bit better, but I think right now it's okay. We're just blocking it out. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Okie dokie. Interessante. Well, I know we want this, but I also would like to have some steps leading up to this. And we're just blocking it out. And there is a way more efficient way to do steps. I know. But we're kind of just messing around, having fun. I think I'm able to bevel. Let's see. Is this where I do steps? Let's take a look here. Okay, there we go. It's 0.5. I want to just do some steps, something like this. Interesting. And the idea is that you're able to walk up there. But I didn't realize this wasn't to the ground. So let's touch that up, huh? Boom, there we go, easy peasy. Seeing this, we're gonna bring this guy down. The idea, you'll be able to step up here, up to the gate. And to be honest, we're gonna have to give ourselves some room as well, because the idea is that thing spins. There we go. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. Just a little room, just a little kiss. Not too bad. And then I'm gonna just give myself just a few steps here. I know I'm doing this the wrong way as well. There's infinitely better ways to do this. There's like a whole thing in Blender that lets you do steps properly. And of course, I'm not doing it. Lord, today I am messing around. I think I might do a quick Google search on how to do the steps, bro. Because it's been a while. There's a way to do it where it's like perfect. And I can't recall. I'm watching it real quick. Uh-huh. Okay. Bevel.
Now there's a menu that's popped up in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
Disappear. Go. From here we can select custom profile type, preset. Let's go into steps.
Already. Okay, so I was almost there. Almost there already. I was basically right in doing this. This far is good. But he's talking about, doing the... All right, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna try it one more time. Let's see. So he's saying from there. Let's take a look here. I see. So he's basically taking this and then beveling it all the way, and then taking down the segments just to 1, and then custom, and then preset is steps. And he's doing it like this. Okay, that's better than nothing. It's not bad. That's not bad. And we got it right there. And that's, again, better than nothing. We got some overlapping faces, but that's okay. We can get rid of those pretty easily. Boom, face deleted. If anything, we don't even need these vertices anymore either. All right. And my idea is to kind of cover the steps up with like some stone or something in the actual game. And we'll just kind of mess with this for now. If anything, one thing that we can do is thicken this up by just extruding it by normals to give it a little bit of a thickness. Nothing too crazy. There we go. So now we have the actual gate, and then the thing spins. And then we have the steps. Easy peasy. There we go. Let's straighten some stuff out. Boom, baby. We want to straighten this guy out as well. Beautiful. All right, much better. Let's give it a material. We'll give it a master material for now. So it's just gate master, or gate gate master material. And we'll just darken it. Just a little bit. I want to be able to see a little bit of the definition there. There we are. Beautiful. One thing I want to do as well is maybe bevel, inset these faces and then jut them out a little bit. And these are the faces that will have like symbols on them. Maybe. And to be honest, we want to make it forgiving. So maybe we'll do 3 at a time. So yeah, 3 at a time. So let's just see here. That's 1. That's 2. All right. 3, 4, 5. Let's go from the other side. 1, 2, 3. And it may not, I didn't count, so it may not come out, you know, perfectly. But I think, you know, that's okay for now. Because to be honest, it may not be wise to do that. We got, okay, so we got 1 down here that's just 2. And that'll be the 9th chevron. That'll be the 9th one. Nice. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and grab these guys. And I kind of want to jut them out a little bit. Just a little bit. And we'll have some kind of texture on them. Yeah, looking at it, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I like the silhouette. I think the silhouette works, but I'm not really too sure how I feel about everything else. We'll just have to see. I think once I rig this thing, it's going to be a little easier to tell whether or not it's going to work. We'll have to see. And to be honest, I might just go ahead and do that to see how it's going to move. I may do that, bros. I may do that. Yeah, I think that's just going to be smarter for now. All right. So we got our gate block. And what I'm going to do is in here, add a new collection and call it, you know, rig. A gate rig. And I'm going to just rig 2 bones, the root and this spinny bit, to see if it even could work, you know. And it may not. We don't quite know. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. So in here, we're going to start with an armature. Easy peasy. And we already know what's up. We got to put that bitch in front. Show me the axis. And that bone, we're going to call the roots. You've been watching me. You already know that this is kind of the first thing I do, is develop a nice root and enlarge it so it kind of matches the same kind of sizing as what I want to do here. And this next bone is going to be rather easy. So let me go ahead and do what I like to do, which is select not just 1 or 2, but like we want to have this centered. So what I'm going to do is cursor to selected. Now this should be centered with everything here. Whether or not it is, I don't know. But that's the idea. And we're just going to add the bone and then rotate that. And we're going to call this gate. Gate. And again, size it to something that's proper. We want that to be parented to this guy. And we always check the parenting. So the root moves, the gate moves, nothing else moves. Perfect. And now we have something simple. Now, what I like to do, especially with something easy like this, is just some regular skinning. We're only going to skin one thing, and that's going to be basically this, 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 and this, right? Those are the things that we're going to be skinning, and what I like to do in order to make that work is just the data right there. But before we do that, we gotta parent this stuff. We got to actually do it like this. Mesh, this guy, empty groups. Then we go back into the mesh, and highlight all the vertices we want to use to skin. And you'll see the data set right there to the right. We're gonna want this to be routed to the gate. Assign, lock it. So now, when we go into the armature and pose it, it works. Beautimus. So that does work, but it's a bit off, isn't it? It's a bit off. I don't like that. So what can we do to fix this? Well, proper measuring for one would work. One thing that we can also do is kind of be forgiving on our sizing. Sizing of the actual gate. You know, the actual gate part of it. And we can just see if that works, to be quite honest. Problem is now we kind of fucked ourselves up a little bit. That's okay. It's just a little time consuming, nothing crazy. Boom, boom, boom. We're just gonna adjust on the fly, you know, and this is kind of my philosophy is, you know, take your time. It'll work out. It's going to be worth it in the end. And if it isn't, it was a good exercise altogether. You know, nothing too crazy. All right. Looks like that's most everything. Got one right here. All right. So I'm going to be pretty verbose. And I'll even probably do the same for the inside, to be quite honest. Just to give myself a little bit of breathing room. And for me, I'm not really looking for perfect. You know, my game is not going to be one about realism at all. It's going to be more about, you know, getting the point across. And, you know, just hiding shit. I saw someone on X, you know, call game dev just illusions. Hiding your illusion. I think that's a pretty fun analogy, because it's a lot like that with film as well. I think that's almost everything. Boom, boom. It's hard to tell. I think that's everything almost. Almost. Yeah, bro. I think that works. All right. Let's see how this gate looks now. Not perfect at all, but a little better. To be honest, I could probably even raise the actual gate part of it up a little bit, and maybe even do ourselves a favor with these circles and kind of make them more triangle-y. But I don't know. We'll have to just play with it. That's gonna bother a lot of people because it's not perfectly centered. I can tell. Yeah, people are gonna be upset with that. That's funny. You know. That's gonna be tough, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know if I like that. I'll be honest. And that's what it takes, man, is just kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. Maybe, you know, taking away these taking those away, maybe, and just making it, I don't know, Now I don't know. I can finish the rest of the silhouette. And to be honest, I kind of like the front being edged in like that, but not the back. I want to go in. Yeah, bro. Yeah, the thinner silhouette is a bit more interesting to me. And I like that this kind of cones out. I think that's quite interesting. I like the big things there. I think that's cool. We hide the second one on the bottom that has just 2, but that's okay. And you know, this is gonna really aggravate a lot of people, but I don't think it's gotta be perfect, bro, like at all. Yeah, interesting. In the reference, in my other stuff, I kind of have like this crystal stuff going, and I'm gonna have to see how it looks, but the idea, you know, it's got this cube circle-y type shape to it, and it kind of goes around this part of it, which I think is quite interesting. But we don't want to do it on its own thing. We want to put it in here. So let's take a look here. I want to have, man, Samir, you are reposting. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. I hope you're doing well. Come chat it up if you want, buddy. But regardless, this guy is to the right, and it's got this cool little thing going where it's kind of, let's take a look actually, something like this, and it like folds over, so we'll just have to try it out. And it's thinner on the edges and wider on the sides. Let's take a look here. This might take some doing. That's okay. All right. What's even really cool, it's got like these couple of holes for like crystals to go into. And I kind of like that. But it's got like this real tight edge to it. And so whenever I want to do something like this, what I'll do is basically move it over to the side a fair bit and then adjust it with proportional editing, and see how it, if we can kind of play with how it works. So if you know anything about proportional editing, we got it right there. So we got the proportion going, and we want it to move over like that. So let's do something like this. I kind of like that. And then something a little, okay, like the, perfect already. You see how it kind of like changes the silhouette on it a fair bit? I like that. That's interesting. And then we do the same thing with the top, because the idea is that it curves and it goes around this gate. And so in order for that to work, I kind of like do that. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, bro? Already, that's quite interesting. Okay, okay. And then we're gonna want to punch holes. I'm thinking like 3 of them here. I can't remember. I can't remember. You're gonna have to forgive me because I'll Google the shit out of some stuff trying to remember everything. Holes, blender holes, and mesh. How to cut a hole, making a hole. I want to like, not by Boolean, but like poke holes. Cut holes, maybe. Poke holes in the mesh, something like this. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's kind of like, you know, I want to make a... Wait a second. I think I found it.
So let's just say you want to make a whole bunch of 3D holes in Blender. One way you could do it is just go around with the knife tool, cutting little holes
That's
like
not
this,
what I wanna
then
do.
just selecting them, and you could delete the face, right?
No,
Problem is, this is
that's not it.
inconsistent and it's very tedious. It's actually a much simpler way.
Show me
All
the
I have to
simpler
do
way,
is
bro.
Just select the mesh where I want it, and
Okay.
then you just press Control Shift B, press those guys, and then just
Control Shift B. All right, Control Shift B. That's all we need. Okay, so let's see if that works. We want one in the middle. Let's Control Shift B. Control Shift B. Boom. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Already that's great. Already that's great. And we're gonna make it a circle. We know we want to make it a circle. But to be honest, maybe something like this. Let me see. Let me just see. So there we go. We gotta have to merge. We're gonna have to merge those two. All right. So let's just merge them at the center, merge these at the center, merge these at the center, merge these at the center. And then we're gonna spin that shit, boy. No! You gotta turn off proportional editing. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. We got it. Oh boy. All right. And then we're gonna do the same thing at the bottom. There we go. Easy peasy. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Boom, baba. Dynamite. All right. And then we're going to spin this, but I want to get it pretty close to the spacing on this other one. And, you know, it doesn't have to be super perfect, but it'd be great if it was close. I like it if it was close. And boom. Oh. Boom. All right. That's close enough, right? That's close enough. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Boom. All right. There we go. Let's see if we can punch that hole. I'm curious. Bruv. Boom, boom. Oh, look at that, already fucked up. I wanted to do just the faces. Okay, I like that. I think that works. And it looks clean. Shit, boy, that looked clean. All right, face orientation. Just to make sure when we fill that shit, we are clean. We're good to go. I like that. And I kind of like that if these were to jut in a little bit. Jut up. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. Nice. Hell yeah. I'm going to do the same thing up and below. All right. Let's do it again. Uno más. What was it? Control, Shift, bevel. Boom. And that should be pretty close. Oh, I see. We're using the preset. I want to use just the default. Okay. It was my bevel sequence. I completely forgot. All right. Let's try that again. We want to do it just kind of, I think 2 segments work. And shit. It just takes time, bruv. It just takes time. Super ellipse. Okay. I see what's going on. Okay, so there we are. Gonna have to kind of do this by hand. That's okay. That could work out for the better, to be honest. Already it looks better. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one as well. All right. And now we have to make the decision, what's the flow? And I like the flow on the other side where they're kind of like up like this. I like that. I think that works. Okay. No need to overcomplicate things. You're going to start noticing that that's kind of my philosophy, is to make it easy on yourself and just have fun with it, bro. Just have fun with it. No reason not to have fun with it. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Love it. And now we got this going. So in the initial, oh, look at that. My faces for the steps are already fucked. All right, so for the initial idea was that this thing kind of hovers around the circle. And now seeing it, we might need to adjust the proportion again. So what I like to do is, if we're going to do that, we're going to turn on proportional editing and just kind of make it a little bit more circular. There we go. Let's take a look here. Turn off proportional editing and adjust the size. Nice, nice. Nope, oopsie. There we go. Boom, baby. I like that. I like that. But to be honest, I would like to kind of bring in the sides just a smidge. Just a smidge. Just a smidge, boyo. And maybe we bevel these, to be honest. Let's just try beveling one at a time. How about that? I like that. That's interesting. But it needs to be, I don't know. There's something going on here. Let's do that and let's bring it out. Why? All right. Okay. I'm just kind of playing around with it, bros. I'm just kind of playing around with it. That's what we're doing here. It's just having fun, playing around. I want to bring these in on both the top and the bottom. Come on now. There we go. And what I like to do is just, oh, God damn it. Hold on, guys. Side, side, down, down, and then GG. Nope, that doesn't work either. Maybe if we just do it one at a time, huh? There we go. There we go. Something a little easier. Then we grab both of them and bring them out a little bit. Okay. Bring them out on the X, maybe. All right. It's interesting. Looks like we got the problem right here. It's okay. So maybe on the X. There we go. And that'll happen sometimes. All right. And the idea is that we bring this in like that. Changing the silhouette just a bit. So the character will, there we are. My character will go up and then we'll have the gate. And the thing spins. This motherfucker spins. And it locks after it hits like certain fucking, what's it called? Chevrons or something like this. And then it'll open up and you'll be able to go through the portal. It's actually that simple, you know. Super simple, nothing too crazy. So you can, you know, we can go crazy with the design a bit more, to be quite honest. You know, and we're gonna have, the idea is to have crystals here as well. So maybe, you know, we make it really big. And let me take a look here. Maybe we'll just mess with the silhouette a little more. What if I were to touch these guys and these guys? Proportional editing. And, you know, we mess with that and then do the same thing here. And just enlarge that just a little bit. And then pull them in. That's what I like to do, is just mess with the silhouette a bit. You know, see how that works, see how I like it. So much of what I do for my game is just honestly with how it feels. You know? And I think that works. You know, I'm not really looking to overcomplicate it, to be quite honest. It would be awfully nice to be able to spin this and it be proportionally accurate. Yeah, I don't know now. I don't know now, bros. I don't know what will work, you know? Because now it feels like it's awfully small, you know? It kind of makes sense. They were thinking right whenever they were doing their stuff in Stargate. They were thinking correctly. For sure, for sure. Lore today, bro. Lore today. Well, while I think about that, I'm gonna maybe add a little bit more detail. When in doubt, detail. Because why not? Might actually go into Unreal and just play around in there, because I wanted to do some world building. And to be honest, this design might take a little time. So, because I really don't know how to feel about it, you know? And that happens often with me, you know? It's like I'll try to think about how a design feels. And often, you know, it takes a long time to kind of proof it out and to see what works, what doesn't. Because the last thing we want is for something to kind of not work. And there's a few things in this I don't really know how I feel about. I like the bulk of the block out. You know, I think that part works. I like that. I like the idea of this being a little higher. I like the idea of covering, you know, the rest of it with like stone and stuff like this. And it's not that I don't like the spinning, but I just don't have my measurements right. And because of that, I kind of fucked up everything else. Kind of, sort of, you know, kind of, sort of. Interesting. Interesting. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm just adjusting something on my end real quick. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Bam, there we go. I just wanted to get my X up here so I can see a little easier. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, we know we like crystals. Luckily, I already have a couple crystals in the rest of my game that we could use, which is cool. I'm not really much of a sculpt mode kind of guy. Maybe if we thicken this up a little bit. It doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look awful. Maybe if we kind of thicken it up, because right now it's pretty thin. I'll admit it's pretty thin. So what if we were like to thicken up the edges, possibly? Like these faces, these outward faces, if we were to thicken them up, you know? Let's just see how that looks. Let's just see how it looks, guys. All right, extrude along normals. I mean, it ain't bad. It ain't great. You know, but it's not bad. Could I? Should I? Would I? Could I? On the bottom as well. I could try, and we could just see. We could try and just see how it works. Boom. Boom, boom. So yeah, that's seriously so much quicker doing it that way. All right, extrude faces. I got to admit, it looks a little janky, but I kind of like that it looks a little janky. That's funny. The more I think about it, you know, maybe it's proper to lean in on the jankiness. You know? It could just work that way, to just lean in on it being janky. You know? And if that's the case, what the hell? Why not lean into the jank, bro? And if that's what's gonna happen, ¿por qué no? Let's try it out. All right, lean into the jank. Lean in. Okay. Lean into the jank. Lean into the jank, bro. And then maybe we can like bevel them. Why not? You tell me, why not? Why won't that work? Why can't it work? And to be honest, we can probably get rid of these circles, dude. Because the triangle is just pointing. Maybe I can even accentuate that as it turns. I'm taking a leap. I'm taking the leap, bro. Already it hides a lot doing that, you know. And I like that it's simpler. We don't have so much going on all at once, you know. I think that's interesting. I'll be honest, dudes, already that feels better. And that goes to show you that often a lot of the design that you have really takes playing around with the silhouette for it to feel like it works, you know? And I think that's just fun, bro. I think that's just fun. It's fun just testing it out, you know? It's fun. And that's what we're doing. Just taking it easy. Having fun. Doing some modeling. All right. So, dude, I gotta admit, I kind of like that it's like off, you know? I think that's interesting, dude. That's quite interesting. So how does it work in... That's quite interesting. I like that. Yeah, bro. Like already it's starting to feel much better. Much better. I like that more. You know? And I'll be frank, we might want to even pulp this up, dude. And then like bring this edge out. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe like swirl it in. Maybe like make it a little smaller. Okay. And then bring it out a little more. All right. So that way it looks like it's sitting in there. Oh shit, boy. Now I'm buying that, bros. Now I'm buying that. I like that. I like that. And you know what? We're going to make our own crystals for this, because I'm trying to think of how this device can work. And I like the idea of the crystal. So let's see if I can remember how I did my older crystals. I know I did them with proportional editing, but I can't recall. I want to say that it was the like this sphere right here, and then kind of like, I think this is correct, and then that, and then, you know, like kind of bringing in a fair bit over, getting the proportional editor, and then grabbing like the top, and then, you know, kind of going like this, doing this, and then like shrinking this guy, and then playing around with the expanding. It doesn't look super crystal-ish, but it's close to what I did with my other one. Then I made the top just a little bigger. And you know what? I'm not crazy. I think that's fine. And then we'll turn off proportional editing. And let's see if we can make this work. Let's see if we can make this work now. Okay. So we want to have a little bit of a stop here. Let's take a look. And then make this just a bit bigger this way. And I like the idea of it curving as well, like giving it like its own identity. All the other ones kind of look more crystalline, but this one will be interesting to have kind of like a jut up. I think that's quite interesting. Turn off proportional editing, and we're just gonna bring it in and see if it sits. And again, for me, I don't care if it like overlaps or anything like this. I'll delete any of the extra geometry. For me, it's all about how it looks and feels. And to be honest, it's getting pretty close. So I'm gonna shrink this guy and move it in. And now we got some kind of crystalline structure that is just gonna sit in there. Beautiful. And if anything, I might actually bring this in. Yeah, bro. Hell yeah, son. I like that. That feels pretty interesting to me. And that's what it takes. I mean, more than likely it'll change over time anyway. But, you know, I'm kind of feeling that, bro. And we already got it rigged, so this spins. That works. I do like the idea of having this kind of these things jut out as well. Just kind of have like a little inset themselves if I can fucking, there we go. All right. And having them kind of extrude a little bit. There we go. It feels kind of Jak and Daxter-y to me, you know? Like Jak and Daxter 2? Okay. And now that I'm looking at it, I'd like to see if they have like spikes. Like it would be interesting if there was like this spike factor going, you know, like here. Yeah, like I kind of like that idea. So what we can do for spikes is inset them and then kind of out. And then we'll just adjust this guy. Like that. Okay. It's interesting. I like this. I like this. Already it's way different than what I had initially. And I think that's interesting. I think that's cool. I can't tell how big it is. And I don't have my, well, I have my propeller. Let's see how big it is compared to my propeller. It's rather small. Rather small. That's okay, I'll just resize it. You shouldn't do that because apparently when you resize things in Engine, it just adds more computational bullshit. So, I mean, to be quite honest, I should, you know, size this up a fair amount. Doesn't seem to ruin anything. But more than likely when I do this, it'll break. Oh, it didn't break it. All right. Sometimes that can break things. But fortunately, we're good. I don't know, dude. I'm kind of fucking with that. I'm kind of fucking with that. And more than likely, it'll take time to figure out what I want these symbols to be. But for now, I'll probably just have them be like some bullshit runes or some shit. Or maybe like it's not even projected up there. It's projected on another device. I don't know. Looks like that these steps are still a little bit in the way. And let's go ahead and just move them over a little bit. And to be honest, kind of bring them up just a smidgen. I don't like that because then we're, you know, kind of down, but we have to raise them. So maybe size them up just a smidge. There we go. Not a lot, just enough, just enough. I may do just like its own little thing in Unreal Engine, where whenever you take a step, it's kind of just like a, you know, little cheat there. Like the collision, making it so you just glide up there. Now I like these spikes, but they do look a bit mechanical, don't they? Maybe something a little more subtle. Interesting. Maybe local. Nope. Am I gonna have to do all of them? I think so, if I want to bring them down. I'm not against the silhouette. You'll see that I'll make decisions. Am I lazy today? Am I lazy enough? Is it gonna work? I don't know. But I'll be honest, you know, that's kind of my my process when it comes to all this, is kind of just playing it by ear. I like the idea of this, you know, curling around a little more. And let's do proportional editing. Okay, that works. And then I'll duplicate that, turn off proportional editing, and bring it down here, because we got another one right here. And this is where we have to make our decision, you know, how far we want to go. Here. I think that could work. Interesting. And we'll do one more up here. Bring it over. And then adjust. There we go. There we are. And I'm kind of just touching it up by hand, seeing what works, seeing what feels good. Interesting. Now they say that if it's worth doing twice or more times. This is the first time I'm doing this gate, and I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. Now, we have it rigged, and we have it, you know, kind of, finished out. We have to figure out now texturing. And that's something I need to kind of think about design-wise. So, to be honest, we've already done everything and more than I wanted on this stream, which is cool. Feedback Hub. Microsoft would love your perspective. Love it. They'd love it. Lord, today. All right. Interesting. Yeah, bros. I mean, I'm pretty down with that. I like it. I don't think it'll be the final design. If anything, there'll be multiple kinds of gates. And this is the gate that we'll see in level 1. The first level. The first kind of thing there. In the first level. Right now, the idea is that you'll have several different levels, like open zones. And you'll be able to travel back and forth in different parts of the zone with these gates. And then as you progress in the game, you'll be able to travel to other worlds through ship. Kind of like Mass Effect 2 and 3 style, you know, it's not like the size of the galaxy, but you had like the ship and you're able to travel in and out different planets. I'm kind of thinking that way. We'll have to see. But maybe if you can power these gates from one area to the next, instead of jumping in your ship, you can just travel through these gates. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's gonna take some time to figure that part out, but it's a lot of fun designing. I'll be honest. Yeah, bro, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. We can go ahead and attempt to do some texturing. But man, I'm not even sure if I'm finished designing the mesh as of yet. You know, we got it moving. We got the crystals. We got this weird part here. And then we have the actual gate itself. I wanted to do like a dialing device, but again, I don't know much about that side of it quite yet. I know that when this thing dials, it's gonna have like a mesh for a portal. So maybe it's smart to go ahead and make that. And the best way I can think of doing that is just kind of like all this and then kind of like filling it. And maybe we duplicate those and then extrude them in. That doesn't work either, does it? So we have them there. We fill it. And that'll be just the mesh that we use. This will be kind of what we use to go through. And to be honest, we probably won't even move this. We'll just kind of turn it off and on. That's the idea. I think it would be cool, to be honest, is, let me separate it. So one thing I like to do is just kind of like take this, we'll separate it by selection, and then we'll go into it. I'm going to name this the gate horizon. To be honest, what we can do is, sorry guys. So to be honest, what we can do is like make it do like what they do in Stargate and like, you know, that could be kind of cool. I'll have to like subdivide it, I guess. Yeah, bro. Here's the tough part is, you know, trying to get this going in a way where it makes sense. We got a lot of vertices, but none of them really connect, you know. I suppose that I can do them with like the knife tool. Let me hide the actual gate, and this is what we have here. I'm experimenting at this point. We're above and beyond everything else. So to be honest, it's kind of just seeing what works. Yeah, just kind of seeing what works, bro. My idea is to maybe like put a bone and then like weight paint the bone. Weight paint the bone, or like it's, hold on, there we go. Weight paint the bone to see if it works as like a portal, so when it opens it'll jut out. I doubt it'll work, but all we can do is try. And in order for that to work properly, I think we're just gonna have to add some of these extra lines, extra geometry, you know. And then let's take a look here. There we go. And so the idea is that, let me demonstrate in proportional editing. So here's the horizon, the portal, right? And then whenever we actually do our thing, it'll jut out. I don't like the way that looks, but I like the idea. So let me just go back a little bit. All right, and let me take it all and then flatten it, or forgive me, flatten it. Oh, messed it up. Okay, so flatten it. All right, so now we flattened it. And now we can use the knife tool. I was doing it the wrong way. You gotta be doing this shit with the knife tool. Boom. And let's be surgical. We're already going above and beyond here. But this is a part of the fun of game dev. Just going above and beyond when you don't need to. All right. Boom, boom. Easy peasy. Boom, boom. Tedious, I know. And I'm sure there's a faster way to do it. Hey, what's up, Bone Dragon? 4563. Hope you're doing well. What's up, bro? Ghost Rar Zard. Wait, is that Jonathan? I think it is. I think it is. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Just doing some game dev stuff on my end, man. Yeah, I figured. I knew that name, that username. You doing well, bud? I've been seeing you streaming. And you kind of convinced me to start. Yeah, bro. You kind of convinced me to start. I wanted to do it for a while, but was too nervous. I was trying to get competence in game dev. And, you know, finally was able to do it. It is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, for sure. Trying to get into it. We'll see how it works. I got my game coming out, a demo later this year. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. Right now I'm doing this Portal. Oh, I appreciate you, bro. I've been seeing you do your work as well. Well, I made a game earlier this year, and it was just a little horror game. This one's going to be more of a action adventure. What's up, Bone Dragon? This game's more of an action adventure, story driven, about angels, demons, but it's going to be a bit more, you know, Zone of the Enders. Right. That's what it is. You already know, bro. So there's flying. There's sneaking. I want to have sneaking in with flying and all this, but again, we'll just have to see how the mechanics work. Once I finish this up, I can pull it up on Unreal and show you what I've done so far. Right now, it's just the world building and the design. But from the mechanics standpoint, there's combat, there's traversal, open zones, kind of what I'm thinking. Not open world, but open zones, but multiple levels, like I'm thinking 8 or 10. We'll see. Lot of cutscenes. Lot of dialogue. I already have those systems kind of in place. Yeah, I did a game jam. That's how I actually made my first game. I started it out as a game jam project, and ended up just giving myself an extra week to finish it out. And yeah, and this actually started as a game jam project too. Donkey, you know, YouTube's Donkey. Oh, bro, yeah, you'll stream it. You'll stream the demo if you want. I'm trying to see if it can come out around my birthday in June, but if not, I might probably give myself up till like this fall. I'm not really in a rush. I did the last game in 3 weeks, and bro, it was just so quick. Like it was nothing. And I had a lot of fun doing it. All the assets were mine. Everything was original, but it was just so quick. And with this game, I kind of wanted to do the opposite, you know, take the time. I think I have enough geometry here. So let's see if it, actually let me add some down here at the little ends. Join your first game jam. And the only 3D artist. Okay. Hell yeah. That's what I did too, man. I got into game dev through 3D. And that's how it started for me as well, was just doing the art for it. And then slowly just adding all the other pieces together. The logic piece, which is its own insane thing. And though I've gotten pretty decent visual scripting, it's still so tough, bro. So tough to just keep it in mind. I think we're about to have enough geometry to do exactly what I want to do. My idea is to add a bone and to make it so this comes out, juts out like it does in Stargate, like boom, whenever the thing locks. I gotta start looking up here. You started 3D art 4 days ago. Hey, bro, I've been doing it for 2 years. It takes time. You know, you got it. I'm doing everything the wrong way. I'm sure a lot of people would say, but yeah, bro, I still do cinematography, but that's a whole story in itself. I've kind of let all the video and everything go. I still do it on occasion for freelance, but for the most part, I'm all 100% game dev now, bro. It's just something that I've wanted to do for a while. So the idea is that this thing juts out and goes in. Yeah, I got a Discord server, bro. I've kind of been posting my progress of the game slowly on there. I haven't invited anyone to it yet. I will soon, for sure. I just kind of want to take my time with it. But for the most part, I'm going to be streaming almost every day. 1 second, sorry guys. Streaming every day. And just slowly, I kind of lost my train of thought. Slowly bring everything else in. So the Steam page, the Discord, all of it. But I really should do that. You're absolutely right. Okay, so let's bring in the gate. There's the gate. So I appreciate it, bro. I see you. Yeah. I'm proud of you too for streaming as well, man. And I've wanted to get into game development for a while. I started 2 years ago with Blender and Unreal and just kind of graduated and slowly brought everything in. But I actually got laid off last year from my video gig, and that was one of, like, I had this other video gig for 8 years in corporate, and then I kept on getting other gigs for video. Eventually it got to the point where I just wasn't happy doing it. And because I got into game dev and because I got let go last year, and then financially things kind of got in, I just said fuck it, straight into game dev. And that's what I'm doing now. Is I made my first game, now I'm making a more in-depth game. And yeah, Bone Dragon, of course, you can join the server, absolutely. If you want, you can actually add me on Discord and I'll invite you through that way. It's just Homie Santo everywhere. That's just what it is. So go ahead, bro. Send me a friend request if you're on Discord. Homie Santo, you'll see my face, and that's how we'll do it. All right. So let me test this out. So here's this. Let's see. Here we go. Should come over to the TikTok, the exposure. Well, I'm live on TikTok now. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm live on here now. I got 0 viewers on there. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or right. I don't know. But I'm multi-streaming. So I'm on Kick. I'm on X. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitch. I'm everywhere, bro. I'm also recording everything too. But we'll see. So let's try this out. I'm curious. So the idea is that this thing juts out and comes back in, juts out and comes back in. That's the idea. Okay, thanks, bro. I'll add you right now. 1 second, buddy. 1 second. I got you. Friend request pending. Got you, Bone Dragon, and I accepted it. Boom, baby. Got you, buddy. I got you. Yeah, please show me your stuff. I'll add you to the Discord once I start getting all that in. But for sure. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you. So the horizon's gone. And I got the horizon here. I want to delete that. Bert. Okay. So now that we have that, here's the horizon. Now we got to add a bone to it. And I'm gonna have to weight paint this properly. Yeah, please show me your 3D stuff. Okay, let me see. Yeah, bro. Hey, I got you. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Let me know how the stream looks. I'm trying to multi-stream. So it's tough. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. So this is how it's gonna look. There's gonna be like a shader with it. So I'm thinking it'll be like boom, boom, like shoom, 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 shoom. You know, whenever this thing locks. And otherwise it's gonna be turned off. But what I can do is we can tie the rotation to the other bone. Something I haven't really done much of. Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm glad it sounds good. It looks okay. It's been tough to kind of figure out the multi-stream thing. So I appreciate you, bro. I do. All right. Now that we have that, let me adjust this bone. Oh man, I appreciate you stopping by, Jonathan. I really do, dude. I'd love to hear more about your life, bro. What have you been up to? What's your day job? I know you stream, and you know my day job, I do video. Now it's just freelance on occasion, but for the most part, you know, it's just game dev. You know, my wife, she does her day job as well. She's been helping out, supporting me in this endeavor. But I'd love to hear what you've been up to, man. Let me see if I can add this bone real quick. I gotta take out the weights for this. How do I do this? So unlock, remove. Okay, we got no weights. No weights. And now that we have no weights, we can test that by rotating this, and we don't have any weights. We can tell because the horizon is not moving. Awesome. But what we want to do is we want to add one more bone, duplicate that bone, or duplicate the bone and size it. We want to duplicate it. Let me do the global. Hold on one second. So duplicate it, size it. Let me see. There's an easier way to do this. I know. I actually got into IT for the past couple of years and have been streaming on TikTok for the past year, and it's been mostly cozy Nintendo games. I've noticed you like Nintendo, man. I love that. And that's great. It looks like you're really digging it, dude. I mean, I've loved seeing your growth in there too, and it's been inspiring for me to kind of jump in. So what made you pick Nintendo games? I mean, you just prefer them? Because I remember last time you were playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on a PS2 or PS3 through backwards compatibility. That's how long it's been since we've seen each other, bro. There we go. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. So let me name this bone real quick. This is gonna be Horizon. I gotta stream Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, dude, the Delta. It was pretty sick, right? It was pretty sick. I liked it. I still play number 3, just the subsistence version. I'm a big fan of that. It's just got more content. Nintendo, dude, you're right. Nintendo rarely misses. You're absolutely right. One second. So Horizon. We're going to have to see if this works. This is going to be tricky when it comes to this rig. All right. Because it's a new bone and I want to adjust it to this. And when I push it out, I want it to have like this zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh yeah, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love Metal Gear, dude. There's just something about sneaking. I love it. And that's one reason I want to incorporate it with my game. I already have the crouch. I already have the sneaking mechanic. You have bushes and everything go around. I'm going to have to figure out how to do it with flight. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So one second. Let's see if I can figure this out. Because the trick is I want to have this go into this and then parent it with empty groups. And I want to basically just assign it to Horizon. One second, but let them cook. 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10. Let's see if I can figure this out, because when it comes to rigging, I'm not like super great. I usually kind of like jumble my way through it, watch a few tutorials as I do humanoids, but when it comes to stuff that's kind of more expressive, it's tough to figure out. So like, first trick is to get this to go into the horizon. All right. Assign 100%. So now if I go and I pose and I play with the horizon, it moves. But the idea is that we want to weight paint it. Okay, so there's that and there's that. So we know it moves forward. But the idea is I want it to basically like shoom, shoom. You know what I've been interested in is rigs for VTubers. I've always been fascinated by them. Bro, it's brilliant stuff. And to be honest, a lot of those VTuber rigs are pretty simple. It's pretty rudimentary. I feel like this kind of stuff can be a bit more tricky because it's something that isn't of real life, but a lot of like the arms and the IK, FK, all that stuff is pretty interesting stuff. I say get into it. When I got into Blender, I learned from someone who did VTubing to the model and all the texturing and everything and the rigging, and then I actually did a whole course on rigging on its own because I wanted to build my own rigs for stuff like this. But I recommend it. It's a long haul. It's a long con. I'll be honest with you. You have to be prepared to actually do some pretty interesting learning. But it's a lot of fun. Let's see if I can figure this out. Weight painting. Okay. Weight painting. Here we go. I think I'm starting to get it. All right. So the idea is that the edges stay, but not so much the other parts. So what I'm doing, this is all just influence. And so the idea is that this bone influences this now, the horizon. And this should be really all we need to do. I sent all my 3D art and animations. Bro, I can't wait to check them out. I'll check them out here shortly. Let me finish up this and maybe we'll have time to check them out on stream. And if not, I'll check them out on the side and let you know what I think. I'm not a master or anything like this, bro. I'm still learning, you know? But I feel like I've developed enough competence to go ahead and start being expressive, and that's what this is. So if we go back to object mode and bring this back, you can tell that this is kind of a Stargate-y type of thing. And the idea was to be able to bring this to life. So this thing spins, right? This thing spins. Oh, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. This thing spins, and then this other bone brings it out. But it's not right, dude. See, it all weighs in one. And I don't like that. See, it's supposed to weigh in different. Now, why did it do that, I wonder? Weight paint. Oh, I picked the wrong bone. No, it's the right bone. But the influence is the same. It shouldn't be that. Hold on one second. I'm trying to figure this out, buddy. Shit, bro. I guess in RPG, in this, like this game, you mean? RPG, I don't know, man. It's gonna be more story driven. You know, it'll be short. I'm thinking like, if I was able to make the whole game, there'll be RPG elements in terms of dialogue, but I want everything else to kind of be simplistic, you know, like the gun. I would like for there to be different shells so they all do different things, and maybe you can power those up over time. And like with the sword, I want there to be like, you know, strength modifier so you can make it stronger. Maybe even have it where that shoots out projectiles when you do certain attacks. So yeah, I think there will be that kind of progression, but there's not a character creator. You know, you don't get to name the character. Everything character-wise is all set. There, the dream is to have 3 playable characters and then 3 intersecting stories, but that's kind of grandiose. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. Why? See, I want to make it where like this weight paint it's supposed to, that's this guy right here. It's not behaving like it should. Have you ever thought about using Roblox? I've heard they're super friendly with creating games. Yeah, dude, I have. I've heard about them. And super user-friendly. Super user-friendly. Problem is that they already have pre-made systems. And those systems are pretty rudimentary, as far as I know. And they're pretty templated, which is great. I think that's fine. For the most part, Unreal does the same thing, except Unreal, you're able to really kind of stretch what works. You can really kind of tweak. And once I start streaming my Unreal project itself, you'll start to understand everything that you're able to tweak. And to be honest, Unreal makes it so indie devs can really optimize, bring in the things from Blender in a lot easier. And it's just such a indie dev friendly way of doing things, whereas Roblox, it's kind of limiting in what you can do. It reminds me of another engine that I used to use, one called BuildBox. It's really nice to learn, but for mobile games, I made a mobile game a few years ago, but it's also very templated. And a lot of people are the same way with their engines. It really is depending on what you want to do. I know people that make really good looking things in the Roblox engine, but it just didn't vibe with me. For me, it's like, okay, from a creative standpoint, cinematography, lighting, audio, all things that I already have well versed in, all that I can apply into Unreal Engine super easy. And now I bring in 3D and texturing and game design and all this. I'm able to marry everything better. Yeah, this is Blender right here, bro. Bone Dragon, this is Blender. But it's not working how I thought it would. You know, because I want this thing to move a certain way, but I can't get it to move. Like, I think I'm just a little out of it. Okay, here we go. Let's see, so 1 second here. So the idea is that everything else shouldn't move. And the only things that should move is the center. That's my idea. But everything is moving with the bone. It's just a bit odd. Because I don't want everything to move. I want, like, basically just the centerpiece to move. Yeah, dude. It's interesting because in my mind, this happens a lot in game dev, where you're like, this should work because this is how I've been doing it, and everything's worked up until so far. So you think you have an understanding, but as it goes to show, that's not always the case. And that's what's strange about this, is that maybe I have to parent everything else the other way. Maybe like I have to, okay, you see what I'm saying? You see, okay, it wants to work. It wants to work, bro. Because this moves while everything else stays the same. So maybe it's the weight painting problem. Maybe it's me. So what I'm gonna do now is just stop everything. Oh, I see. Now now I understand why it doesn't work. It's because I wasn't giving the influence to complete 0. It was a me problem, bro. It was a me problem, bro. Okay, let's see if this works. It may not work and may not be perfect. I'm not really looking for perfect. I'm just trying to make it where, you know, it looks cool. We get the point across, dude. We get the point across. So the idea is that the outline stays inside There we go. The outline stays inside. The outline stays inside while the inside of this actually comes out. So if you look at it, whoa, baby. It doesn't look so great. But believe me, with some good lighting, a shader, shit's gonna work out good. The problem is I don't want it to be like a block like that. I want it to like kind of like, you know, pierce. That's the idea anyway. So what I like to do is basically bring it out how I would want it in the bone to work. And then we'll just start subtracting slowly. Okay, so the weight, I think, is the issue. Damn, bro. That's a problem, too, because the strength is just so much. Like, I wish it wasn't just 1 to 100. I wish it was kind of like, you know, a gradient. And that may be a me problem, to be quite honest. You know, that may be a me problem. Because I thought it would be a little bit more like a bloom. But it's not really that, which is a shame. But I think it's a me thing. It just may be what I'm doing. You know, usually that's the problem. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem, bro. All right, let's see. Let's go back to object mode, then go to pose mode, clear the transformation. All right. It's better than it was just a minute ago. I gotta go. All right, bro. Great seeing you. I appreciate you. Let me know what times you stream, by the way. If you think it's better during the day or at night, whatever works. Either way, great seeing you, buddy. I appreciate you coming by. All right, let's take a look here. Boom, baby, boom. Interesting, bro. Interesting. Interesting, dude. I feel like the idea's starting to come together. It's starting to come together, but it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little time to get right. I may have to do some research because this horizon thing is fucking weird. Like, it should be working one way, but it's not. That's tripping me out. You know, like, because if I were to take it away, what's weird too is that it's not subtracting properly. There we go. Okay. What's weird is that it's not subtracting properly. Strength. There we go. It is a little easier that way, isn't it? Do you animate? Yeah, I animate, bro. If you take a look at my, like if you go to my X or on TikTok, you can see some of my animations. Otherwise, I can show you what I've done so far. But let me try to figure this bitch out, bro. It's so strange why it isn't working the way I want it to. You know? It's definitely a me problem. I don't have X or TikTok. That's okay, bro. That's okay. I can show you some offline a little later. For sure. And again, I'm going to be starting to do more on Twitch. show more in Unreal. I may show some here in a bit, but let me see if I can figure this out. Because this is gonna bum me out if I can't. There's gotta be a way to do it. Because the idea is that this comes out. But why doesn't this gradient? You know? Proportional. No proportional editing. Let's see here. Horizon. So I got the right. I got everything else right. I think that's a good idea, bro. You know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. All right. So basically, we're gonna do that, and then kind of just do a little bit here in the center, just to see, just the center. Because if we can get that to work, which I think it will, already it's a little better. But the problem is that, you know, I think in the center, for it to be like that 1 to 100 is great. But I want it to be just a little bit on the top. And you see, even whenever I paint just something that, maybe it's the strength, maybe you're right. It's just like 1 to 1. You see that? Which is strange. It shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. But I suppose that for now could work. You know, maybe I'll just widen it out a little bit. Maybe I'll just widen it out right to right here. You know, just a little bit, maybe at the bottom here. And then whenever it does its thing, it like goes back and forth. I think that could be fine. You're right. Okay, add a second bone to the top. I think that could work. I think that could work. But to be honest, for now, I think it could work just like this. Just for now. Just for now. You know? It's not perfect. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for adequate for it to work. Just for now. And to be honest, it does look smoother than I thought it would. Which is nice. Which is nice. But it is odd that it is quite odd that it doesn't like fall off the way I think it should. But regardless, it's okay. We'll figure it out. I'll test it out. No worries. But for now, I think that's kind of okay. Again, with the shader, I think that will help as well, because it's gonna be like maybe like a smoke shader type of thing, or like, you know, we'll get to play around with that, and it'll be fast. You know, it'll be fast. We'll see. But along with that, we wanted to follow the rotation of the gate, and we want to make it so it's invisible. And I know I'm gonna have to watch a tutorial for the visibility, because that's a property. But we can at least for now do the rotation. At least pretend to know how to do that. So if I'm correct, we go from gate to horizon, or horizon to gate. Yes, I'm making a portal. So the idea is that this spins, you know. Oh, let me parent this 1 second, buddy. And all this commotion, I forgot to parent it. So now that when the gate, actually, that might work on its own. Whew, maybe not want to parent that after all, bro. Maybe I'll clear the parent. clear the parent, and then instead parent it to the root. Keep the offset. Okay. So now we want to, maybe you're right in the first place. Maybe we can fix this in weight painting after all. Maybe we can. Maybe what we can do is go in here, weight paint, and then wait a second here. Okay. And then do like a light pass here. Let's see. For the gate. Okay. So now we have it rotating with the gate without having to do any modifiers. And then whenever we go here, and now we got the trail off, bro. You a genius, Bone Dragon. You a genius. You didn't even know it, buddy. You didn't even know it. And now we got a trail. Beautiful. So with weight painting, we were able to kind of fix that up. If anything, now I can kind of expand this a little bit. And then whenever I bring it out, no. Actually, no expanding. Let me just touch it up. Let me just touch it up. I'm just gonna touch it up right here, bro. Strengthen it up just a little bit. So the trick was basically weight painting it to the gate bone. So now we have a little bit more of that trail, right? Let's see if we can find the vertices as well. There we go. I don't want it to be so wide or so strong. It's the strength, man. That strength is definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. I kind of like that it's kind of like tearing. That's interesting to me. I like that. I think that's odd. I kind of don't mind it if it goes through the... I don't mind it that if it goes through the stairs a little bit. Why not, dude? Why not be dirty about it, bro? And then like make this super, super strong. Just the center, very... Can I do that? 100%. Yeah, just like 100%, just that. Perfect. That works better, I think. Boom. And so now we have the portal. Beautiful. I'll have to adjust the visibility, turn it off and on the visibility, because the idea is that it's not on and then bam, it's on. That's fucking cool, dude. That's fucking cool. So we can actually mess around and do a little animation for funsies. So in order to do that, we'll go here, clear the transforms. I may actually look up a quick tutorial on the visibility, because the idea is that this guy spins. Ooh, shit. Actually, it's not quite fixed. It was fixed, but now it's not. Now it's kind of fucked up. Oh shit. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Going out to spin with it. Now I'm thinking just this triangle piece, at least for now. I'm pretty open to it. We'll see. But I'm thinking just this triangle piece spins. But maybe it would be cool to have the spike spin as well. Let me figure out this portal spinning first, real quick, because I just fixed it with weight painting. One second. It's this, then weight paint. Okay. I think that may fix it a little bit. Maybe a little bit, just a bit more. So if I were to spin it, okay, and then we go back to the pose mode, clear all the transforms, and let's say we move this out. Okay, I kind of like that better, to be honest. Because you do not want things going out to spin with it. Things going out. What do you think, bro? Oh, like this, the spikes? You think the spikes should spin with it? Is that what you mean? I gotta admit, bro, this portal is, I'm actually fucking with it. Like, just the weight painting alone, I think works. And, you know, the weight painting alone makes it so this works. And so I can make it go back and forth, bro. And then once it sets, we make the portal visible. And then we like, and maybe like make it pulse, you know? That could be pretty cool. If the spikes doesn't spin, then you'll see the portal spinning, but the spike coming out, if it isn't, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. In order to do that properly, I mean, we can play with it. The problem is that I didn't make it with that intention. And that's not that it's a bad thing. I'm just gonna have to figure out, you know, because the geometry, those spikes weren't intended to spin. And that's not that it's not that they can't. But I may want to think about it. Maybe. Because we have to remember as well, the idea is that the center spins, the portal appears and disappears. I could, but I would have to separate the geometry, right? Which I can do. But I don't know how I feel about these spikes spinning. I'm not sure. Because what I can do is kind of like separate all the rest of the geometry, right? Because the idea is that these things jut out, and on the texture, they'll have some kind of symbols. And so these triangle things will align what those symbols are. It'll set it, the thing appears, and then it goes. So the spikes are kind of there just for decoration. I didn't intend them to spin, but we'll see. Maybe I'll try with it. Maybe we'll try with it a little later. Right now though, just for funsies, let's see if we can just make an animation. A quick one. A quicken. It would be nice to have something to post as well. But before we do that, yeah, we'll have to just see. I may, like, one thing is because we got it blocked out, we'll be able to do that pretty simply. It'll just take a little time. But for the fun of it, let's just see if we can make it, you know, do a quick animation. But I kind of like the idea of making this visible and invisible. But in order to do that, I gotta I gotta pull up an old tutorial, and I have to remember where that tutorial is. Actually, I think I have it bookmarked. I think I actually have it. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I have it right here bookmarked. Let me see if I can bring it up. Because it's really easy. I haven't heard of Prisma 3D, bro. Is that like a... Sorry, I didn't mean to announce that. Is that like another program? All right, I have a mask right here. A mask tutorial.
Vertex group mask. Check the double-sided arrow, uncheck render visibility.
So what I like to do in order to do all this stuff is I basically, you know, have tutorials that I've went through, but because I'm only a human being, I'm not able to remember everything. I'll reference for specific pieces. We're referencing for the specific piece of this horizon, the portal. I want it to be able to appear, disappear, come out, boom, and then it kind of settles. That's what I use for 3D art and animations because Blender isn't on Android. Is that right? I thought Blender was on Android. That's cool. So Android, are you using, are you on mobile? Is that what you're meaning? On Android. I'm on PC. So I use Blender, but my wife uses Nomad Sculpt on her iPad. Everyone uses different things, but the rudimentary and all the fundamentals are kind of the same. You know, that's one thing I love about any kind of program is editing, coloring, all that. They all kind of work the same way. Here, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to see if I can figure this masking thing out. It's very simple. Very simple. 1 sec.
Another cool feature and a simple one I like to have whenever I'm animating is the faculty to hide the legs, the arms, the body, and whatever pieces of equipment my character is carrying.
All right.
And we can easily do that with mask modifiers.
All right.
First, we need to create dedicated vertex group for each part we want to hide. In the vertex group panel, I will click on the plus icon to create.
Oh boy. Okay. So already we're getting into some shit. Okay. So we got to create a vertex group.
Create a new group and then call it mask legs. Then I will create a second group mask arms and a third group mask body.
Okay.
This is generally my go-to when it comes to masking characters.
Okay. So it's basically telling me that I have to add in my vertex groups for this, I have to add another vertex group for the gate itself to be masked. Okay, let's see what happens. So in this, I'm going to call it masked. Oh, forgive me, masked gate. All right.
If the character is more complex, have a tail or whatnot, I may create more mask groups and mask modifiers. Now
Okay.
in edit mode, I will select all the vertices of the arm. The simplest way is to box select the arm and then press Ctrl L to select all linked vertices.
Okay.
Once I'm done selecting the arms, I can go to the vertex group,
Vertex
select
group.
the mask arms group, and assign all those vertices with a weight of 1. Then I will hide them in the 3D view, and I will do the same for the legs.
Okay.
Select them with the box selection tool, press Ctrl L to select all the linked asset, and then if I need, I can zoom in to select the remaining vertices.
Okay.
Then I can go to the vertex group panel, select the mask legs group, and assign those vertices to the group. Hide them all. Here I forgot a few vertices, and then select all the remaining vertices and assign them to the mask torso.
Okay.
We can now switch to object mode, select our character, go to the modifiers panel, and add a mask modifier. On this modifier,
Add
we
a
can select
mask
the vertex
modifier.
group mask legs.
Okay, I see. So he's going to the modifier and he's adding a mask modifier. Okay, and then the vertex group, he's selecting that vertex group.
And I advise you to give those modifiers a relevant name. This will help us finding them whenever we will use scripting to add them to our rig UI. By default, the mask modifier hides everything but what's included in the vertex group. But we can invert this behavior clicking the double-sided arrow.
Okay.
We don't want the mask modifier to be ever rendered. It's just to help the animator, so we can uncheck the modifier's visibility in render mode. We will trigger the modifier using its viewport visibility. We can duplicate the modifier through the drop-down menu or pressing Shift-D. This time, in the vertex groups, we want to source our mask arms vertex group, and then call this mask arms. We can duplicate this modifier again, and this time assign it the vertex group mask torso and call it mask torso. We can now switch to the gun. Select the gun, add to it a mask modifier.
Okay.
We can call this modifier mask gun. The mask modifier needs a vertex group to work. Press tab to enter edit mode, then switch to the vertex data panel, create a new vertex group, call it mask, and assign all the vertices to it. Then switch back to the modifiers tab and source the vertex group mask. Check the double-sided arrow, uncheck render visibility, and since the ammo magazine and the gun are now rigged and have the same modifiers, we can join or merge the magazine to the gun. In object mode, first select the ammo magazine, then shift select the gun and press Ctrl mode select all the You can create the different modifiers. You can switch back to object mode to test the different modifiers. You can create custom properties to trigger those, but as for our previous character, we will use scripting so that we can add it to its custom UI.
Okay, so I see. Basically, we added a mask modifier that he's using for animating, but it looks like we're able to adjust the threshold and keyframe it. So we should be able to bring it out anytime we want. I'm just not really sure on how to add a keyframe to animate it, but we can try. Okay, so also the only 3D animating apps I've seen on mobile is Prisma 3D, and it has a lot of features, so I like it. Great, man. I can't wait to check out your work here on Discord. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So I think we are ready to do a quick animation, just a quick one, nothing crazy. The idea is that I'm going to spin this, shoom, 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 lock, boom, wow, something like that. That makes sense. You know what I mean. You know it. Yeah, you're smart. You got it. You know what I mean. All right, let's try it again. So now that we have that, I guess we can try it. So we go to, first of all, I'm gonna make sure everything's working properly, and then go to here. We're gonna make sure we're in pose mode. One more time, test everything. Test this guy. We are good. And test I guess here's the problem is, this is the issue, is how do I animate the, maybe I'm overthinking it. I may be just overthinking it. Okay. Anyway, let's just do the thing. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. Maybe I have to animate it in a way I'm not used to. All right. So it may be actually easier to do it in Unreal, to be quite honest. But for the fun of it, we're just gonna play around. So the idea is we're gonna first of all save it, add a new action. We're gonna call it gate turn, gate lock, gate on. All right, test, gate on test, perfect. And we're gonna make it quick. We're gonna make it, right now it's just 32 frames. Nothing too crazy. It might be way more, might need more. But, so we're gonna start at 0 for everything. All right. And I wonder, can I also, if I were to go to Horizon, Gate Horizon, and go in the property, and boom. Okay, so there's the threshold. I'm able to animate the threshold too here. That's interesting. It's weird because I'm not used to switching around. But for now, I bet you that I can use a driver to make it a bone, but I won't worry about that right now. So we got the gate, and then we're gonna go to 8 and see how it looks if I were just to spin it here. Actually, before we do that, I'm gonna delete these and then go to adjust the rotation for just that one. Make it X Euler. It just makes everything easier. And now we're gonna reset it, and now we're gonna spin it. So let's go to 8, and I want it to just go shoom. Boom. Let's see how it looks. Very quick. So let's make this 120 just for fun, because it's gonna go pretty fast. Instead of 8, let's make it 24. You know, and let's make it where it like goes back and forth a little bit. Bam. And then bam. And then let's give it a little breathing room. There we go. Shoom. And then after that, after just about another couple frames, we'll do the same thing. So 24 frames from 36. 24 and 36 is 60. I know math. Come on, guys. All right, so then we'll spin it again, but this time go like right here. Right? Boom. And then do the same thing. 1, 2. And then go a little over. Hit it. And then 1, 2. Duplicate that and there. So we got shoom, shoom. And then boom, sha, sha. Okay, it happens a little fast, but you know, we can adjust that. So then let's go, let's do it again. What was it, 24 frames? 24 from 64, 68, 78, 88. Let's do 88. Don't ask me to do math, bros. Don't ask me to do math, man. It's too much, bro. It's too much. So we're gonna spin it and go like here, right? And assign it. Then go 1, 2. What is it? What is it? I think it's just 1, 2. Okay, so easy. 1, 2, and we'll go to overdo it. Hit it, and then 1, 2, and then we're going to just duplicate. Oh shit. We'll duplicate that over. So if we play it all together, shoom, shoom, shoom. Okay, a little too quick. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. You're laughing, bro. And I don't like that. Shoom, shoom. Okay. Wait. I think I'm a little too stoned. All right, okay. We're good. We're golden. We got it. Okay. We're good. We're good. I got this. So okay, so let's make it 160. All right, give myself some breathing room. Zoom in just a smidge. Give one more frame here. And then bring this in 1, 2, 1, 2. Boom, there we go. Whoom. 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 And let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that's a little too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 72. So 72. All right, so let's try it again. Shoom, shoom, shoom. Got a little retarded there, didn't it? Shoo. All right, so let's even that out a little bit. Actually, this is supposed to be this. This is supposed to be here, and this then goes here. There we go. Look at that, boys. Shoom, shoom, shoom. It kind of slowed there. It kind of slowed there. Let's make it a little faster. Like here, maybe. Kusha. Shoom. Shoom. All right, a little faster. Here we go. It's all about just messing with it, bros. It's just about messing with it. Zhang. 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 And then one more set. 72. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 110. Boom. Oh shit. Boom. And then we're gonna go back to the front. Shoom. 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 And this is where the fun starts. So 180. Boom. Actually, let's just do 200. 200. Feels good. 200. I just feel it, bro. There's no principles of animation with my shit. I just feel it. I just feel it. Zoom. And then let's do 1, 2. And then overshoot it just a little bit. Boom. And then boom, baby. Beautiful. And so then here on 148, that's where it's going to appear. The portal appears. You could also try Prisma 3D sometime and try to animate, because I have a few questions. I'm sure you'll probably figure it out in like 20 minutes. Nah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I doubt it. Learning a whole new program, you're not really worried about learning the principles or anything. What you're really worried about learning is just the fucking how the program wants you to work. And I really don't even use Android. But here, 2 seconds. Now that we have this going, all I gotta do now, bro, is at 148, we bring back the horizon. Right? So in 148, we bring back the horizon, but to do that, we gotta go back into object mode, horizon. There's the threshold, mask. We duplicate that to what? To 148. And here, we go 100%. And then, boom. All right, so it's off, 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 off. There. There it is. But why won't it go, I wonder? See, we got a whole other problem here, bro. Whole other problem. Damn. This is what I was afraid of. Okay. I guess I just overthought it. So boom, 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 boom. All right, okay. Boom, okay. And then we have the thing come out. I don't stream every day, but I will be soon. I'm still trying to figure out whether it should be like, you know, at night, in the morning. To be honest, I'm a nocturnal kind of guy, so I probably would prefer to go from like 11 to like 5 a.m. or some shit. But not everyone is like that. There are not a lot of people that would be able to watch, I don't think. So I am going to start streaming every day starting next week. But right now I'm still trying to gain my reins. All right, so we got that going. That means that the gate at 148 comes out. So I'm going to start here. Boom. And then at 148 to, let's say, 160, I want it to come out. Let's see how it comes out. So 160. Boom, baby. 160. Bam. I think that's fast. That's fast, bro. Actually, it might be a little... Right now it's 1 a.m., bro. I'm at 1 a.m. over here. What time is it for you, bud? Oh, I'm sorry, bro. What normal stream days? I stream Monday, Friday. I don't know if you're still here. I don't think you're still here. I'll talk to you later, buddy. Sorry, I kept hopping back and forth. All right. Shoom. 48. $48 to 67, 67 to 82, I guess. And let's go backwards. Boom. Shoom, shoom. And then it settles. So I'm gonna do 240, to be honest. I want to give myself a little time. It's 8 a.m. over there, dude. Holy crap. I don't even know where that is. It gotta be, I guess, Europe or something. But well, cool. Then I'll be, if I do all night, it'll be most of your time, bro. That's cool. And then at 204, let's do 208 actually. We'll bring it back here, and then start bringing it and letting it kind of sit and then kind of settle. I'm gonna actually do like 280, bro, because I want it to kind of pulse a little bit. Here, 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 and then here. And then we'll just pulse. Shoom, 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 boom, boom. Bro, that looks pretty sick, son. Hell yeah, boy. You gotta admit, my man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You gotta admit, that's nifty, bro. That's nifty. That's gonna look pretty cool, I think, whenever you have everything going. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Hell yeah, boy. And that was an easy rig, dude. That's like the easy. That's easy stuff, bro. That's easy. That'll be fun to post. I think that'll be fun to post. All right. So another reason I do this is for posterity, you know. I try to record everything and to make it where I remember what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing what it is I'm doing, all that mess. Byron, I don't even know where that is, dude. I hope all is well over there. But it was great talking with you, dude. 8 a.m. That's cool. I may do the all-nighter. I like that. I'm a nocturnal guy. And my system, when will you check my 3D art animations? I'll try to check them here soon. I'm trying to think of what to do next. We did more than I intended for this. Let me see. I'll let this play in the background while I see what you sent me, buddy. Oh, okay. Prisma 3D seems a lot like, oh, Saudi Arabia. Okay, near there. I got you. Okay. Well, I hope everything's safe over there, bro. I know things are pretty tense, but I hope everything's safe for you over there, buddy. Okay. I like your animations, bro. That's cute. Hell yeah. I think you're on the right course, dude. And if what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing, I like the texture. How did you do your textures? Is everything in Prisma 3D? You're an early bird? Okay, okay. Night owl. Night owl. That's what the opposite of early bird is. Night owl. So yeah, that's what that is, bro. But I'm thinking about adjusting my schedule where, you know, I'll sleep during the morning, get up in the afternoon, do my stuff that I gotta do during the day, and then, you know, stream at night. That's what I'm thinking. Righteous. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm excited to post this. I'm going to post this tomorrow. The color is Prisma, but the texture on Thor's hammer, I put in an app. All I needed to do was screenshot the part of Thor's hammer and put it automatically and punts it everywhere in the metal part because I selected the metal part. I got you. I see. I see. Copy you, bro. Copy you. And yeah, dude, no problemo. I'd love to help out any way I can. I mean, this is great. I don't know anything about Prisma 3D, but it sounds like you basically took the UV process and just did it on mobile. That's cool. That's cool. That looks great. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you're using, I mean, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're using primitives. That's what all this is about. Hell yeah. All right, bro. Well, I gotta say, I'm a little bit tired. I think I may hit the sack, but before I do that, let me mess with something. When this moves and turns out like this, I like this, but I kind of want to adjust this. So let me subdivide it. Yeah, I think subdividing it, I think the subdividing it helps a bit. There we go. It helps give it some granular. Primitives are just, you know, cubes, circles, triangles, cones, planes, all that, just basic shapes. That's how this started, was just basic shapes. And for the most part, that's mainly what I do most of, is just basic shapes. Because you can do a lot of that with that. Now, every once in a while, I'll go crazy. Like with my characters, I'll do, you know, a few things that are more complex. But for the most part, it's all the same kinds of stuff, you know? And you can, as you can see, it can take you far. It can take you far, that stuff. And now I'm just kind of looking to see if I missed anything. Yeah, I think that looks great. I think that looks great. We don't gotta go crazy. We don't gotta go crazy, bro. And that next is gonna be texturing this thing, which will be interesting, but that's a whole process in itself. And we've already been going for about 3 hours. I think that's a good place to hang it up. Follow. I hope you liked the stream. I appreciate you stopping by, Bone Dragon. I got you on Discord. I appreciate you, buddy. I'll try to go again tomorrow evening, my tomorrow evening. So, you know, I guess you're 6 a.m., 8 a.m. You know, stay safe out there, bro. I'm gonna hang it up here. It was great talking with you. Have a good day. and we'll talk soon. All right, bro? Get on X. What's the problem with 3D? If you look up Richter 3 on YouTube, you'll see there's some very good ones. Okay. I'll have to look into it, bro. I'll look into it. But for now, I'm gonna call it quits. I think it's a good place to stop. Great talking with you. Follow. Take it easy, buddy. Talk to you guys soon.